So hello everyone, good evening and good morning or good afternoon wherever you're watching this from. My name is T James Rafiu, and a quick one just to show you how to separate your image first before we go into creating your own action that you can play for frequency separation and then start doing your blending and removing of blemishes. So this is just an image I took, and I want to show you this process on CS6. Then we're going to do it again on CC 2017 Photoshop. So I'll just show you on this. I'll come to my layer channel here, and I'll duplicate it using Ctrl J, or you can just right click and select Ctrl J or Command J if you're using a Mac system. So Ctrl J, I'll duplicate again, Ctrl J. So this is what I'll do. If you can see it, my camera is not that sharp. We're going to see how we record screen for the next one. Let's just manage this. The lower layer, I'm going to name it I'll name it tones, and I'll name the top layer, I'll name it textures. Remember, your texture is always above your layer. The texture is the skin pattern and the every information on the skin, the data, the details on the screen, on the skin, sorry. Then tones is your skin color. So we're going to turn off the texture layer because we want to work on the tones. And we're going to come here to filter, come to blur, come to Gaussian blur, and this window pop up. Then we're going to click on any part of the skin though where details are, and what we want to do is we want to remove every details from this picture. So we're going to keep moving. Okay, normally I use, if I'm using this is a JPEG, if I'm using my raw image, normally I use 14.0 because if I'm using my raw there will be more details than using a JPEG. So I'll just stop at 10.0 for this image. What we want to see is that there is no details on our tone layer. There's no texture coming out. See before, see after, see before, see after. So we now OK it, click OK, it loads. I don't use this system to edit. This system is I use majorly for other activities, but I'm just using it to show you so we can get along. So we now come to our other layer here, which is our texture layer. Turn it on, come to image, click apply image. Remember, we've removed texture from our tone layer. On this one now we want to remove tones from our texture layer. So you select the layer texture, you select tones. So we want to subtract tones from our texture layer. We want to remove every tone, every color from our texture layer, so we have only our details and our texture on our texture layer. You opacity 100, uncheck the preserve transparency and mask, uncheck the both of them. Your scale is 2, your offset is 128. We're going to explain this in details on our next video that we'll be doing with the other system. So you can see your image. This is just texture. You don't have tones here. You don't have any color showing here. So this is now your texture layer, and this is your tone layer. So we're going to still selecting the texture layer. I'll come to my blending mode here. See it just at the top of your layers. You see your blending mode, you see it on normal. I'll put it to linear light. Once I put it to linear light, it returns as if nothing happened on the image. It returns like to the way it was before. You see it, our texture and our details, everything coming out. But this is it. We've been able to separate texture, see it, and separate tones. See texture, see our texture. You can see it then with our tones. So I will just select these two layer by holding down my shift and select the other layer. Sorry. Oh, let me see. Hold my shift, then select the both, then group them, Ctrl G or Command G if you're using a Mac. Then I'll rename it to frequency separation. Let me just shut it. Separation. So on this layer now, we have our texture and we have our tones. With this, I can be able to separate. I can be able to work on my tones separately and work on my texture separately. If I want to remove blemish, I'll remove pimples and the rest. I'll use the texture layer and I won't have it affecting my tones or losing all my details. And if I want to work on my tones, do my blending and try to brush in on the makeup, I'll use my tone layer. So this is how I create my frequency separation. You can do this on Photoshop. This is CS6 and I'm doing it. So without having the Retouching Academy, you can do your frequency separation. Then we are going to look into how to create an action so that your work can be fast, because creating this on every picture will mean I will be slow if I want to edit. Let me say I have 100 or 50 picture to edit, even 30, 20. Doing this process is a lot of work. So if I have my action, I can just play it and it will get me to this level. Then I start working. I hope you understand, and I pray we have enough time so we can look on how to create LUTs, how to save your video. Sorry, I said video. How to save your colors. And after editing your work, you want to save those colors, your color grading, so that you can reuse it for other works. Instead of begging for LUTs, you can keep saving your color gradings and reuse them for other projects to color grade. So I hope this helps, and we'll get to the next step from this part. Thank you for your time. I wanted this video to be a short, but I think we're going over. So we'll get to the next step. Thank you, and I want to see your result. I want to see, you can just make a screen grab and send. Let me see how far you've gone with separating the frequency separation battery. All right, be safe.